welcome to the very first episode of the
SBJK Podcast.
I'm your host, Jekara.
I'm SHAQUIMA. And BRITTALIA.
And on today's episode, we'll be discussing
how couples can keep their sexual fire burning for a lifetime. Alright, so this TED Talk was retrieved from YouTube by a speaker called Emily Nagoski, and it's entitled How Couples Can Sustain a Strong Sexual Connection for a Lifetime. So guys, what do you think was the attention grabber in that TED Talk?
Alright, so in the beginning of her speech, she started off with a story about how she was in a bar with friends, and one of the, who were a couple by the way, and they asked her, how can couples sustain a long sexual relationship for over decades?
And do you think that attention grabber was suitable for the audience?
Yes, I think so.
Well, I think so, because it's basically like a casual opener to what she was going to talk about, and it kind of piqued my interest because she gave me a story that can capture my appeal to what she is going to present to me.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. And also, did you think the speaker, she told her why she was credible to talk about this topic?
Yes, because, well, she is best at talking about this topic just because she's so experienced and she's a sex educator for over 25 years.
So that makes her very credible to talk about this topic.
Yeah, being a sex educator, I think that she has done her research and would be knowledgeable on the topic that she is presenting on.
Yeah, be like qualified. Yeah.
So I think she was a good fit to speak about this topic. So what do you think was the purpose of this speech?
So the main purpose of the speech was, it's basically to help couples rekindle their flame, showing that it's just like they don't really have to have spontaneous sex or have sex all the time.
So hold on, what does spontaneous sex even mean? I know she mentioned 2 types, but I never fully grasped it. You know, that's something really clear. So can you explain that?
Yeah, I heard her. During her speech, she outlined that there can be 2 forms of sexual desires. I think she said spontaneous and responsive. I think she said that spontaneous is when you could be doing something random at any time, and then
like in a moment?
That feeling just come upon her. And then you have responsive now. You and your partner could be just watching a movie,
Cuddling up, kissing up.
And then you feel it.
So basically off of your actions. So responsive,
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so she was basically saying that, so the purpose of the speech was to let couples know that there are different types of desires and what to do when that flame is slowly starting to burn out, basically. Yeah.
So did you think that the speaker previewed her main points within her speech?
Yeah, she did, because isn't her previewing that in the story about her friends and their couple, I kind of got the gist of what her speech is going to be about, So I think, she did. She previewed her main points in her intro.
Yes, I agree, because with the introduction of the story, she kind of gave us an idea of what she was going to bring to us in her presentation. So, yes, I agree.
Did the main points correspond?
I don't think so, it did. Because her story related again to her speech. And I like how she tied it at the end that she's a sex expert, sex therapist. So it kind of ties in. I have an idea what she's going to be talking about. So I think it did really show her preview related what she's going to be saying.
Yes, and another thing about her TED Talk was everything was kind of interrelated in a way, and it wasn't too overly exaggerated to a point where I couldn't understand what she was saying. She kept at a certain level where she kept her audience attention, and it seemed like she was having a casual
like a one-on-one with the audience. Yeah.
So, what type of did the speaker present any final appeals?
Yeah, she did, because towards the end, alright, so throughout the whole speech she was talking about other people, but I think her final appeal was when she was talking about her own experience, about she was writing a book on the science of women's sex health or something like that, and she was saying how she was so obsessive with the writing the book that she was thinking about sex all the time. Yes, so when it came to her own relationship, she just felt frustrated and exhausted. Yeah, she
shied away from.
Yeah. So I think that was her appeal, that just to get, like personal relationship you make good. Yeah.
So she could be saying in a sense that because of her writing that book, it kind of had
overthink.
And it kind of had some damaging to her personal relationship, because she has to study that area. So
and she mentioned how she has to remind herself that Emily, it's less about the science, more about the relationship itself.
The interpersonal relationship and the connection.
Yeah, I think she's basically saying don't overthink too much about it, just be with your partner and,
Yes, it's nothing to, there is science behind it, but it's also emotion behind it. Everything can't be about the book. It's about the connection and how your relationship with the person.
At the end of the speech, the speaker used storytelling method to pack a punch in the closing lines. This can be very impactful because it leaves our audience with a lingering melody after a powerful symphony. It encapsulates the essence of her message, humanizes the content, and creates an emotional connection that resonates deeply.
So, do you like the TED Talk that we examined?
I did personally, even though I have no experience in that area. I still find it interesting. What about you guys?
I did too. I found it interesting because you see a lot of couples who are married in their teens or in their 20s, and they're older, 70, 80, and they're still married, and you kind of wonder what happened, how they keep the flame,
how can they stand each other for that long?
How them stand each other for that long, even you know that sometimes they probably have some big arguments.
Yes, because in this generation that we're in now, you know that relationships hardly last. Once there is any conflict between any party,
they're quick.
And then another thing with married couples as well, there's a stigma that once people are married, they lose all sexual connection with each other.
Because I know people say that how can you be the same person for so long and not lose interest? So that's the speech kind of made me think about it.
And it was also said in the TED Talk, Emily was saying how a lot of the couples that last for years and years and years, they barely have sex, or they don't have spontaneous sex like that. So it's kind of more of going on trying to get back at you instead of just sex.
So I really enjoyed the speech. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching the SBJK Podcast. Thank you so much, guys.